One of the people who will be directing and presenting a play of which he is the author is a veteran, not only of a Red Barn performance of his own last year at the PGI on early occasions, but of an appearance with his one-person show. This is my favorite monologuist. I just don't, he's Lorne. Here's Lorne Elliott.
It's nice to be here at the Red Barn, full house. Hope the fire inspector enjoys the VCR at the bottom. And for those who are wondering, my hair is only 2 inches long. The sad thing is my head's this shape. Joke needs a bit of explanation. Actually, the last time my hair was short enough to tell what my head was shaped like, I was 16 years old. I spent a lot of time in front of the mirror trying to appear less self-conscious. Which may sound self-defeating, but as all 16-year-olds know, it takes a lot of looking at yourself to get to look like you don't like to look at yourself a lot. I even rigged up 2 mirrors so I could see my profile. My God, what a shock that was. Seeing myself for the first time as other people saw me, I was amazed I was not singled out of crowds and bludgeoned with lead pipes. There's my ear, you see, there's ears, and it's, you don't need a pillow with an ear like that, just fold the flap over, you know. My Adam's apple looked like my neck had a knee in it. Swallowed hard, I ran the risk of knocking myself out with a stiff uppercut to the jaw. The worst thing though was the back of my head seemed to jut out way too far. I always wondered why no matter how hard it rained, there was always a dry spot between my shoulder blades. The back of the head of a 16-year-old boy, this was a pterodactyl, folks. I didn't know what to do with it. I knew I couldn't be able to just take a belt sander to her. I toyed with the idea of tying highway flares to my shoes to draw attention away from my head. I settled on the idea of trying to build up my shoulder and neck muscles to make it appear less self-evident there. So now my brother had a set of spring chest exercises which he had used once. I don't mean one exercise session. He took them out of the box, stripped the waist, expanded them across his chest, let go, and on the way back they grabbed both nipples. So they were bequeathed to me. Didn't want to expand them across the chest. I worked out a set of muscles to build up both the steromastoid and sternonuclear muscles up here. What I did was I hooked one handle to a doorknob, then grabbed the free handle behind my neck, went into the first forward lunge. Yeah! Well, the doorknob flew off. Rocketed into the back of my skull. Raised the bump another 2 inches. So I grew my hair long. I built a boat when I was in Prince Edward Island 2 summers ago. I built myself a boat. Now, this was a 13-foot skiff. I called it the Sea Piglet. It looked good on dry land, too. I took it out of the ocean. It wasn't so much a boat as it was a jacuzzi. Eyes the boy that builds the boat, eyes the boy that bails her. I dragged her ashore, slammed the fiberglass to her lovely product, who weighed 3,000 pounds heavier, but by God, she wasn't going to leave. 13-foot skiff with 2-foot thick sides on her. Put a mast, put a sail. Canadian Tire tarpaulin I used for sail. Bad choice in retrospect. Turns out it's the international distress signal color. So. Search and rescue helicopters do give off a fine breeze, I found. Maiden sail on the North Shore of Prince Edward Island on a day when the radio told me, and I quote, it was a stiff offshore breeze. That was the word. Breeze. Now, where I'm from, Montreal, not my fault, a breeze is something the laundry just barely flaps in, right? North Shore of Prince Edward Island, the weather department, they hang a chain out a window. Chain points straight out, that apparently is a stiff breeze. Offshore was another word I had not been in much contact with. Right? Lakes around Montreal, where I'm from, not my fault. You go offshore, 2 minutes later you're onshore again, right? Now, the ocean doesn't work under this system at all. So, you got the coast you're on, you got Norway. There are no other boats on the ocean. I figured, well, that's because these maritimers haven't read as many books about sailing as I have. A particular type of stupidity that runs like a theme through my life. And while I was in the lee of the shore, things were going fine. I was sailing this boat I had built on hardy mateys thought I. And I looked behind on dry land and noticed people in neighboring cottages start getting out of lawn chairs with binoculars. Say things like, cancel the video tonight, we got a mainlander here. I wonder what they're looking at. Then I hit that line where I am no longer in the lee of the shore and the wind came and the sail went and I was sailing. I was skipping like a wood chip across the tip of these waves. I don't know whether the wood for this boat was grown in Newfoundland, but it seemed to have a distinct homing instinct for that province. I seemed to want to go there to die. Hanging on for dear life. I looked behind 2 minutes later. PGI is a thin red line on the horizon with a glint of 1,000 binoculars shaking with laughter. I figured time to get ashore. I haul on the tiller. Now I'm going towards Newfoundland at the same speed, but sideways. There's an old sailor's trick out of these circumstances called getting the sail down, you silly twerp, and row ashore. And in all the books, chapter 9, they got Biff and Binky in their 90-foot yacht. The wife is in the cockpit making up weenies for the return voyage. Hubby is on the foredeck with his striped jersey and his espadrilles. He does a flick of the wrist with the finger off the bottom of the mast. The sail comes down in an accordion pleat into a Ziploc bag, and everybody is just Jeezy jubilant. I'm hanging on for dear life, trying to get this knot. Looks like something Mark Rothko designed in his early abstract expressionist macrame period. I looked at it once and said, pretty ugly, maybe we can sell it to the National Gallery in Ottawa. There's no way I can get this thing on. I grabbed the mast, the sail lowers, and cabered off the swine into the ocean. She went up, she went down. Seagulls were coming by. What a jerk, what a jerk. Search and rescue helicopters over the horizon. Seals came to the surface. A mainlander. If I wanted to know about life, or maritimes or the ocean, I should have read a book by a guy named Frank Parker Day by the name of Rockbound, a Canadian classic, which I know because it's been out of print for 30 years. It is Germaine delivers I should quote from it, Mary Dauphiny, the schoolteacher, comes to the small island of Rockbound, and David Young says, do you think I could learn to read? I was 35 years old and I got a young son up at Anapest now staying. Do you think I could learn? And Mary says, of course you can learn to read. You're a fisherman. Fishing takes brains and judgment. And David says, well, I shall try as hard as I fish. And he left with the primer clutched in his big hand and hope in his heart. Thank you. Good night.